starts with your forecast first.
Good evening, Siouxland. Sunshine on our Storm Lake Skycam, and the temperatures are great. In Storm Lake, it's 55. Much cooler in Esterville at 40. Spencer, 49. Sioux City still has 64 degrees at last report. Look at Wayne, 66. Omaha, 68. And O'Neill, 68 degrees. Fabulous. Do yourself a favor and get outside this evening. It will still be mild at 8 o'clock, 45 degrees and clear. Clear overnight too, 1 a.m. 31 down to 23 degrees at 6. Tomorrow looks cooler but quiet, but a winter storm will be approaching here as we go into Friday. And all precipitation types are possible. I'll tell you what to expect for your community straight ahead. KCAU 9 News starts right now.
We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jenna Renstrom.
And I'm Tim Seaman. A local cancer survivor this evening is hoping that a stroke of bad luck will soon turn around. That Sioux City woman is the victim of theft after a donation was stolen right off of her front step.
KCAU 9's Jamie Perez joins us live in our satellite center with the details in our top story.
Tim and Jen, a pretty sad situation tonight. A local woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer had a friend in Des Moines try to put together a package of wigs and scarves to be delivered to her home, only to find out that they were stolen once that they arrived. Christina Carter says she was home at the time the UPS delivery marked her package as being delivered, but when she went outside to check if the package was there was no sign of it. Turns out it was stolen before she got to it, and Carter says that she was waiting for this package in anticipation and simply wants the package returned.
It was just really heartbreaking to know that the wigs that were donated to me by total strangers. I have never met these people in my life. The connection is through my high school friend Lisa. And I just can't believe that somebody would go that low as to steal a cancer patient's wig.
Carter says that at the end of the day, she just wants whoever stole the package to return it, no questions asked. And coming up tonight at 10, we'll dive deeper into what happened and hear from her friend in Des Moines on her efforts to get this package to her doorstep and what she says now that her friend never received that package. Reporting live in our satellite center, Jamie Perez, KCAU 9 News.
Heartbreaking for sure. Thanks so much, Jamie. In another, as we follow up on reports of fake money being passed around the area, the police chief in Yankton is warning businesses of counterfeit cash being passed throughout that town. Those are similar to the ones found in other Siouxland areas. Here's a look at places where those bills have popped up. Lamar's, Spencer, Storm Lake, Grettinger, and Norfolk have all had similar reports. All the bills say for motion picture use only. So far, only fake $100 bills and 50s have been found. Businesses who find fake money should report it to local police immediately.
What started out as a controlled burn ends up getting out of control near Sergeant Bluff this afternoon. That fire started on a farm north of Sergeant Bluff and a field east of Old Lakeport Road. Now, fire crews from Salix, Bronson, as well as Sergeant Bluff all responding to that call about 3:45 this afternoon. That fire burned a couple of acres on private property, but this evening, once again, is back under control. And after a warm day like today, I guess it wouldn't be the Midwest if a chance of snow wasn't mixed right in there with those dry conditions. It starts those types of quick fires.
That's right. In March, we can get, as you know, just about anything, and it does look like winter weather will return here on Friday. A winter storm watch has already been posted here for northwestern parts of Nebraska and southwestern parts of South Dakota. Those are the counties shaded in blue. That does obviously include Rapid City, and I expect that those advisories and headlines will be extended east towards Siouxland over the next 24 hours or so. Here is the stormcast for tonight. Very quiet. Tomorrow, just a few more clouds and cooler, but nothing really happens until early Friday morning. You can see that weather system approaching. The pinkish orange indicates a mix of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and that will arrive here to our southwest as early as 6 a.m. and then push towards Sioux City at about 8 a.m., continuing to see mixed precipitation, including some freezing rain through the morning, and then during the afternoon, we will see the snow take over gradually. Still some mixed precip up here to the south and east by 6, but during the evening we all get a shot of snow as that system pushes away from us. This is the ice forecast. Again, this is for Friday, and you can see there is concern about icing here toward Norfolk, Albion, Tacoma, and Omaha, especially because winds will be strong, so the tree and power line issue becomes a thought in addition to just slick roads. And the snow forecast here for Friday is also eye-opening. Now, we're still about a day and a half away from this happening, so I do expect some changes, but the potential, that's the point here, is there for 4 to 8 inches across the north and west, 2 to 4 inches generally south and east, and less than 2 from Albion toward Denison and Omaha. So, lots still to track. That's a preliminary forecast. Yep. Please stay tuned for the changes that will come. For now, what we want people to know is there could be slick roads, there could be significant snow and icing, and a lot of wind making matters worse through the day on Friday.
And when you're talking about ice, I'm guessing there's a really small margin of error there, too.
Tiny, tiny difference between snow, sleet, and freezing rain in this type of situation.
All right, we'll stay tuned. Jenna?
Today at the Iowa State House, candidates started filling in their names to be placed on the November ballot, including a few familiar faces in Siouxland. Winner of the Iowa District 3 special election last November, Jim Carlin, sending his nomination papers to Secretary of State Paul Pate. He will look to keep his place in the Senate. Orange City Representative Skylar Wheeler announced today he'll seek re-election to the House District 4 seat. He won his first term in 2016. Also, Sioux City native Jacob Bossman putting his name on the ballot for this year for the House District 6 chair. But a name you won't see on that ballot is Sioux City's Rick Bertrand. He announced he won't be running for re-election after serving 8 years in the Iowa legislature. Bertrand says people should have term limits and shouldn't stay in the legislature for a long time. He ran for the Iowa Senate back in 2010.
Thousands of students across the nation and in Siouxland stage a walkout protesting gun violence today. That's happening 1 month after a shooter in Parkland, Florida killed 17 people. Here's the scene earlier at North High School here in Sioux City during that walkout. We were not allowed on campus. However, a student shared this video with us.
Across the metro, students letting their voices be heard in efforts to protect others from school shootings.
KCAU 9's Austin Kopnitsky joins us live. He's at South Sioux City, where students put their own spin on that national walkout. Austin?
Tim, Jenna, students all across the country and here in Siouxland participated in the walkout earlier today. And also, the walkouts began here at 10 o'clock this morning and lasted for 17 minutes. Now, that is 1 minute for each of the victims, but South Sioux City schools had a different spin on how they would handle the walkouts, actually giving students a choice.
There was definitely a reflection piece involved in honoring the lives of those that were lost, but there was also some opportunity for students to pick a setting today during those 17 minutes if they wanted to come together in a general assembly format. If they wanted to go outside in a more intimate setting together and pause in silence, they were able to do that.
17 empty chairs were placed in the middle of the auditorium, each with a balloon tied to the back. And as the names of the victims were read, the balloons would get cut one by one. Now, school officials do tell us that everything went off today without a hitch, and tomorrow is expected to be business as usual. But reporting live in South Sioux City, I'm Austin Kopnitsky, KCAU 9 News.
All right, Austin, thanks for that live report. Interesting way to put a local
That's
spin
right,
on it.
and the students taking control of their own assembly.
That's good to see. Also, as we mentioned, other schools took time today as well to honor those victims.
North High School participated in the walkout with hundreds of students filling the area around the school this morning. Many were holding signs and chanting "Enough is enough" and "We want change" as a call to action.
Meanwhile, students filed out of Sergeant Bluff Luton High School at 10 o'clock sharp as well, all showing support for those Florida victims. The students there stayed outside, as students at many schools did, for exactly 17 minutes.
March is Women's History Month, and Briarcliff University celebrated by shedding light on a major issue that plagues thousands of women. Robin Lieber, a Siouxland native, was invited by BCU's Women of Color group to share her story of surviving domestic abuse. Lieber became pregnant her sophomore year of high school and married the father that same year. Unknown to her at the time, he had problems with alcohol, leading to physical, verbal, and emotional abuse for over 10 years. Today, she shares her story with groups to show others that no matter what problems they face, they're not alone.
That's why I kept silent for so long, because I did think that it was my fault and I was all alone and nobody would understand.
And, like, we all struggle the same, even though like women of color do struggle harder than the rest of women, but we're all here to work together. Let's be allies to each other and promote this cause.
Libra now hopes that she and groups like Women of Color can continue to pass down the message that no matter the trauma, you are not broken.
Orange City is getting ready for summer. We're kicking off the tulip season with the Tulip Festival extravaganza today. The festival royalty revealing their attire for this year's Queen and Court. KCAU 9's Rebecca Pryor has a sneak peek at what's to come.
This year's Tulip Festival extravaganza has blossomed anticipation for what's to come in May at the 7-day annual event. And no one is more excited than the Queen herself.
It's a huge, huge honor. I can definitely remember looking up to all the Tulip Queens in court as a little girl, and now that I'm playing that role, it's a really huge honor, and it's so wonderful to be able to do that.
The Queen and her court will be fashioned in Dutch attire with authentic fabrics that were imported from the Netherlands.
Not like typical jeans and a t-shirt, but it's just so special for us to be able to have this opportunity. So wearing the costume just makes us feel so special.
This year's grand production, put on by Festival Royalty, is Beauty and the Beast. And you'll need to get your tickets fast. Steer Chairman Christy Vandervoort says they're already almost sold out.
This year, the difference will be, I think we're going to have really great weather. Last year, it was very cold, and this year, we're counting on lots of sunshine.
The extravaganza is just the kickoff to what's shaping up to be a highly anticipated event.
Fun is still yet to come. The Tulip Festival is so wonderful as well.
Reporting in Orange City, Rebecca Pryor, KCAU 9 News.
The weather was icky last year.
Remember, it was cool.
But it did not affect the food. I do remember that.
It's just hard to beat.
That's right. So we look forward to it every year.
Puffer cheese and the other novelties up there.
Silicon, speaking of cutting sugar, that's good, but not enough to make you healthy all on its own. We'll take a look in our Your Health Matters.
And a cool down starts here tomorrow, but we're focused on that wintry mix of precipitation on Friday, plus wind. At least the weekend for St. Patrick's Day looks dry. Your detailed forecast is next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Tim Seaman, Jenna Renstrom, Chief Meteorologist Fred Exum, and Sports Director Jordan Furby. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.